So there I am sitting in my office waiting for a phone call from the doctors. Had to get my results. And the words that came out of her mouth once I showed up at the appointment was quite devastating. You have breast cancer. So at that particular moment, I had to take it all in, take a deep breath, and realize she said the C word. Quite devastating. So I then decide that I'm not going back to work. I'm just going to go home and meditate, think about the words that came out of her mouth, the C word, and then decide, what do I do next? Most importantly, I had to tell my husband, and as I'm driving home, something just comes over me, and I'm bawling and crying all the way home because I finally realized that's what the doctor said to me. So I quickly called my sister. She's my oldest sister, and she had been diagnosed 5 years ahead of me. And so I told her what the doctor said, and she says, I'll be right there. Now, keep in mind, she lives over an hour away. It seemed like forever trying to get home. And once I got home, it seemed like forever for her to get to me. Now, keep in mind, I hadn't told my husband yet. I just needed to tell her because when my husband hears news like that, he gets really excited. And so she comes to the door and we talk, and I get my composure, and then my husband comes home. I'm thinking that he's going to be completely devastated, but he was so positive. Here I am, freaking out, and then he's like, it's going to be okay. And so at that moment, a challenge was trying to decide, what do I do next? And for me, it was actually an easy decision. Having worked in corporate America for almost 30 years, I knew I had a higher calling. And to me, breast cancer, that diagnosis, was the Lord trying to tell me that, hey, you've given your company almost 30 years. You're not where you really want to be. And there's something more important that I want you to do. And so from that moment, I decided to take early retirement. I'm not going to wait for that 30-year package. I know there's a higher calling for me. And so sometimes in your life, you feel like that you've got to do something. You're supposed to work 30 years. You're supposed to do this or do that. But there are challenges that come to you, and you have to make a decision of what's most important. And for me, spending time with my family, taking care of my health was most important. And so that defining moment was that I needed to make a choice. And that choice was to quit work, figure out my next stage, take care of my health, and spend time with my family. And so that's my story regarding the diagnosis and how you handle it and what you do with it. Because that 9 to 5 is not always what you're destined to do.